Welcome to the What Now podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Powers. Follow along as I figure out how to go from feeling lost and at a crossroads in my life to hopefully, eventually, being found. If you have ever felt like you needed a change or pivoting from your current experience is necessary, but you just don't know how, join me. Wanderers are always welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to What Now, a podcast for Lost and Found. This is your host, Amanda. So excited to be here. Dirks is sitting with us today. He's right behind me, but he's napping. The camera quality is not that great, so you can't really see, but he's solid black except for the two little demon eyes that show up. You know how you scan a dark room with a video of pets in there, and you can only see these beady red eyes. That's kind of what's happening, except his are brown. Anyway, I digress. Hi, welcome back to the show. So happy to be here. Glad to have you here. Really excited to get going this week. Right now, I'm recording the day before Halloween. So by the time this comes out, it'll be November, which is nuts. Isn't that crazy? Where did 2024 go? I started to kind of think back right before I recorded, how much have I done in this year and what's been accomplished and how many things have come and gone or changed. And now just the final 2 months of the year, to close it out, get shit done, plan for 2025, figure out what it is we're supposed to be doing here in this world. Hey, Dirks, you waking up? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, here we are. So I have some time right now to record and wanted to make sure that I'm trying to get ahead as much as possible. I am taking a friends trip with the same girlfriends that I went to Africa with in 2023. We were all friends from when I used to live in DC. We became friends more over the years, but have started all traveling together at various times. Sometimes it's three of us, sometimes it's all six. But the last couple of years, we've been going places together. And so this year's big trip is leaving for Thanksgiving through the first 2 weeks of December. We will be in I'm going to make sure I can say this properly, Uruguay, and then Argentina, and then Antarctica. So I'm stoked. I've never been to South America before. And for those of you that know me pretty well, my love of Hispanic and Latino culture, I'm just super excited to experience a completely different part of the world that I've never had the chance to visit before. And I've had a few friends that have done their honeymoons in Argentina, and my brother did get to do, that was his gift when he graduated from college. He got to do a backpacking tour through South America with one of his college friends. And I want to say Jackson went to Peru and Argentina and maybe Chile. I don't know. I can't quite remember, but I know he was at least in Argentina for part of it. So very excited to check that out, and it's going to be so much fun. We've been planning it out for months, I guess almost a year now, because it was right after, maybe a month or two before we left for Africa, when the tour guide for Africa released her 2024 tours, and she had a pre-sale for Antarctica, and we all kind of jumped on it. She's claiming this is the last time she's ever going to host a tour to Antarctica. So if this is our last chance, we kind of want to go with her. So here we are. And I have not started packing. I have so many shopping carts on my computer and on my phone that are just sitting there waiting for me to pull the trigger to order these things. And it's getting closer and closer to the due date. And if I keep it up at this rate, I'm not going to make it, and I will have to basically order everything from Amazon. And I don't want to do that all the time. I don't like giving into fast fashion or over consumerism, but we are going to a weird trip where in North America, it's going to be wintertime, but in South America, it's going to be their summertime. So we're leaving a part of the country where we'll be cold, flying to a place where it's warm, and then flying to another place where it's very cold. So I'm jumping between three different type climates pretty much, and I have to pack for all three. So I don't know how I'm going to do it, y'all. If anybody has travel tips, send them in. DM me if you've ever been to Uruguay or Argentina or Antarctica. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you loved or didn't love, or things you think I should try, or things to avoid for sure. Lessons learned during your travels. Any flight changes or horror stories, something, just to make sure I'm prepared. I would greatly appreciate it. But I'm super looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great time. I love this group of girls. They're all funny and successful and doing cool things in the world. So I'm excited to get to spend more time with them and to meet the other people that are going to be on the Antarctica cruise. So it definitely takes a special kind of person that wants to travel to the end of the world and back. So I'm very, very excited. I've already come up with a couple of content ideas in my head. I've not told my friends what it is I want to film, but seeing as how they went along with all of my really goofy filming in Africa, I think I'll be fine for the trips this time. They'll already know what to expect, that I'm gonna want to do something dumb and put goofy music to the background of it. But I'm excited. I think it's just gonna be so cool. It'll be a fun time to get out of my own head again. And that's one of the best things I think about traveling. If you're able to, I understand what I'm talking about right now is an extreme privilege. I am the one that saved up the money. I am the one that set aside time and effort to do this, and not everyone can. And that's not to say that I'm better or worse than anybody else. It's just me acknowledging that I'm announcing a giant trip that not a lot of people could imagine going on. And I get that. But I always think that if you are able to travel, or you can get out of your town and just see what other sides of the country lives like, or if you're able to visit other countries and learn about how other cultures are integrating life in a different way from you, it just helps expand your mind and helps you appreciate more about your own life and your own world and how you can make the world a better place. And also noticing that we're not that different. What we used to perceive as differences across ourselves are actually closer to similarities than you might really realize. Let me know if you're going on any fun trips, or you've had some good times in different places this year, and places you think that I should visit next, or any ideas like that. I love hearing travel stories. That was actually one podcast idea that I had on the list of creative things that I've never got to launch, but maybe will someday. I had an idea for my friend Courtney and Mary Kate and I for a podcast show, but we ended up not being able to launch it before Mary Kate had to move to Germany. And maybe one day I'll be able to get that off the ground. But for now, I have to let that dream sit on the shelf a little bit longer. But all that to say, I figured for today's episode, we would keep in line with a little bit of the spooky season and somewhat of the end of the year coming up, and the ominous feelings of what that's like, and some things that maybe you're regretting, or you've been afraid to address, or you've been putting off. It's coming up on the end of the year for 2024, and maybe you've had something in the back of your mind or a goal that you've wanted to achieve, and you keep telling yourself, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I can't start right now, I'm not ready yet, or I don't actually have the time for that. I'm just going to, hold off until I get to a better place, etc. And I wanted to address that because I wanted to kind of call us out, and myself included. I wanted to make sure that we weren't falling for that lie that we're telling ourselves, that, oh, I can get it done tomorrow, or, oh, I can wait a little bit longer. Now, granted, to a certain extent, you should always be operating within reason. Please understand that this podcast is never going to be a podcast that tells you up and jump, like up and have no kind of perception of how to move forward. Like, jumping with no plan is incredibly risky, and the fallout that can come from that is incredibly scary. And I do understand that. But if you've been saving up or setting stuff aside because you're not sure, when to take the leap, the thing there where I would say the difference is between jumping with nothing versus, for me as an example, I've been thinking about projects and creative options and business ideas and how to create my own brand and what do I want to do with my life and myself and what do I want the name Amanda Powers to actually represent and mean to people when they think of it. And so I've been doing research into podcasting, into personal publishing, into talent management, into the future of marketing and advertising. Like I'm trying to prepare myself for if I were to jump and take this kind of path on its own, what would that look like? And part of that is taking the step to actually start my own show, practice editing, practice audio engineering, practice cutting and creating reels and Instagram and TikTok and keeping up with social media and how that landscape can boost or destroy your particular brand and messaging and how to get your messaging across the right way to the right audience at the right time, etc. And on the surface, I don't look like I've done much yet, right? Other than I started an Instagram and a TikTok page and I've made it to 50-ish, I think 52 or 53 episodes now. And so while that feels to me like a major accomplishment, it's only scratching the surface. But like beneath the surface, I'm layering it with, okay, I'm going to set money aside in a money market account. I'm going to help that with a high yield savings to try and grow, let it sit there. I'm not going to touch it, just feed money into it. And when the time comes, I'll use it to invest in myself, invest in whatever it is I want to do or what I want to grow or what I want to change. And in the meantime, I'm going to take classes or take trainings or try and find a podcasting mentor or a coach or etc. And that's what I'm trying to say is like, I haven't fully jumped, but I have at least started somewhere. I am terrified of finally jumping when it comes time and I'm actually like the door is open and the opportunities in front of me. I'm hoping that I will have the courage to say yes. I'm hoping that I will have the wherewithal and bravery and self-confidence to go, okay, I am ready to say yes to this. I am ready to try this out. But if I were to just put in my 2-week notice and be like, all right, deuces, see ya, like, let me go, it would be terrifying because I don't actually have what I perceive to be the right safety net there. I could burn through a year and be like, all right, at least I spent a whole year investing in myself to see what could happen. I don't have that yet. To me, I still need to save a bit more and then I'll kind of actually be, all right, here we go. This is it. It's set. I can see what happens now. And it's hard. It's it's really hard to do. And I get that. And so this is not an episode where I want to shame anyone for not even starting at all. This is not an episode where I want to scare people into doing something that will rough up their life in a way that they are truly not prepared for the consequences for. And it's also an episode where I'm not going to say don't go through with it anyway. You're going to want to find a way to stop telling yourself I'll do it tomorrow, when the truth is you're awake right now. You're present right now. You have the ability to change that mindset into pushing it off for another day, or that's a tomorrow Amanda problem, which I know everybody likes to joke, oh, that's not something I need to worry about right now, or it's not a high priority, so that's a tomorrow me problem. Well, yeah, it's a tomorrow you problem if you're lucky, if you get it tomorrow. But that's the funny thing about the future. Nobody really knows where it's coming. Nobody really knows when the end is near. You don't know. You only know today or what's happening right now because you can't go backwards and you can only hope that you get the guarantee of going forward. So this time around for this episode, I really want to talk about the fear of failure. It's most likely preventing you from trying to start something and changing that mindset into breaking down what you need to start on into a piece by piece thing. Instead of being so worried about trying to start immediately and like jumping off the deep end to get all the way to the other side of the pool. It's like you can't do that. When you jump off the diving board, you're diving into the deeper end and then you're swimming across to get out. You're never jumping off the diving board and getting all the way to the other side of the pool. If you could do that, you'd be superhuman. And also probably have a head concussion because the other side of the pool is going to be less deep. Because that's usually how that works. So let's not do that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves when we're trying to go after our goals. Like, What we really should be thinking about is, what am I battling against with this fear, the unknown, the risks I would have to take in order to invest in myself, this self-doubt. Am I ready? Am I confident enough? Do I have enough money saved? Do I actually have the skill that I claim to have? Do I actually have anything to offer the world that anybody's going to resonate with? And the truth is, you do. You absolutely do. You have to find out what exactly your message is and what you want to do with your message, because your message is always going to be far more powerful than your popularity. That's going to ebb and flow, especially if you're getting kind of wrapped up into, oh, I don't have enough followers, I can't be an influencer. Or, I don't have enough followers, I'm not going to grow that quickly. Or I don't have enough followers, I don't have the advertising depth. They may not have as wide or as deep of a knowledge as you think you're supposed to. And I don't want that to prevent you from moving forward, because Eddie Pinero likes to say that the fear of failure prevents action, and inaction is actually the greatest mistake you can make. And we touched on this slightly last week during the Not Today Satan episode, where I talk about the devil trying to, the theoretical or the metaphorical devil trying to keep you in a cycle of self-sabotage and confusion and manipulation, and how your fear of failure will keep you stagnant. And the truth is, the only guaranteed way to fail is to never try at all. And that's going to be the biggest mistake you might make in your life, because you don't get the opportunity to learn a lesson. You don't get the opportunity to fix your problem, because if you don't even try to begin with, you never know what's going to work and what doesn't work. And so the unknown cannot be resolved until you make an effort. The unknown is going to stay that way until you pick a direction to go in, right? You're never going to refine your process and become who you were meant to become if you are so afraid of making mistakes along the way. And the greatest thing about mistakes actually is they inform you, they inform your progress, and if you're using them strategically, they can point you towards your next steps. And I know humans don't like shame. We don't like being humiliated. We don't like being embarrassed. We don't like claiming something out loud. And then sometimes one of our biggest fears is claiming it out loud and then having people remember that we claimed it out loud. And then when it doesn't happen, having it shoved back in our face. And then I understand that. I don't like that. I've had it happen to me before, and it's not fun to admit that something didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. It feels heavy when you associate a failure in your life like that to who you are as a person. It can weigh you down. So I understand that you may not even want to approach it at all because you don't want to carry that weight. You're already pre-signing up that, like, that's not my baggage, that's not my problem, not going to be me. And that's okay. But you have to then accept the fact that you are going to stay. If you're okay with staying exactly where you are, not going forward, not breaking through a new ceiling and finding a new floor, that's on you. The next time somebody asks you, well, what's your dream? Why didn't you go for it? I really want you to figure out what it is that's truly stopping you. And I want you to stop saying, I'm afraid to do this because of failure, or I'm afraid to go out on my own and fail. I'm afraid to take this risk because I don't know what's going to happen to me, or I don't know how it's going to affect ABC in my life. I think you can prepare for all possible options, but at the end of the day, none of those options are going to happen if you choose never to do it. So you can play it safe, but sometimes playing it safe is playing it stagnant. And I don't want you to get to the end of your path or the end of your time and feel like you're living with regrets of the wrong things. Wish I had spent more time at the office. Man, I wish I had spent more time, working myself to the bone, getting overwhelmed, blowing through burnout. Man, I wish I had spent more time in places where I really wasn't needed, or I wish I had spent more time in unnecessary meetings. I wish I had spent more time working for someone that did not foster my creativity or my personal growth or my investments in my innovation. I wish I had spent more time staying exactly where I was instead of taking that trip to Italy or Australia or Jamaica. I don't know. Turks and Caicos. Like, you want to go to Ghana and you've never been before? Friggin' go. There's direct flights from Dulles Airport in DC. Like, check it off the list. And I think most people, when they're on their last chance or they're on their last opportunity to reflect on their life, more often than not, I'm betting it's, I wish I told the people I love them. I wish I had told my children to chase their dreams. I wish I had opened that store that I always wanted to open. I wish I had been to that country that I never got to see. I wish I had accepted that opportunity when it was given to me instead of being afraid and saying no. I wish I had tried that relationship at least once instead of being afraid of getting my heart broken. I wish I had left that job sooner and traveled the world for a year. I wish I'd taken that gap year between college and graduate school. All kinds of things. I wish I had started that podcast. I wish I had started that content channel. I wish I had started improv and stand up sooner. I wish I had gone to more open mics and gotten booed off stage. I wish I had bombed more so that way I could have refined my craft. I wish I had forgiven more people and not held grudges as long as I did. I'm going on and on and on, but that's what I want you to avoid. I'm trying to avoid that in my life, and I'm trying to make sure that anytime I have emotions or thoughts about why am I not getting out of my life what I think I'm putting into it, I'm really taking a step back and going, okay, well, are you doing the exact same thing over and over again and expecting the same results or expecting new results? Because that's kind of the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's pretty silly, right? So I don't want you to fall prey to that problem because it gets you into a trapped mindset when you're doing the same thing over and over and expecting something new to happen. That's not how new things happen. That's not how career changes are made. It's not how meeting your partner is going to happen. It's not how becoming who you want to become is going to happen. Think about it. When you're weightlifting and you're trying to gain weight, right? You can't lift the same 5 pounds, 10 pounds for a week or months on end and be like, okay, this is great. I'm doing exactly what I need to do. I'm going to do X amount of reps with the exact same amount of weight. I'm eating the exact same amount of food all the time, and I'm going to get bigger. Nope. You actually have to eat in a caloric surplus. You have to start doing progressive overload workouts where you're slowly triggering your muscles into the micro tears so that way you can recover and rebuild and recover and rebuild over and over again as you gain the weight. Telling your body, hey, we're doing a whole lot of activity lately. We need the strength to keep up. And so your body eventually responds and goes, oh, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's build it up. If you're in a relationship situation and you keep dating the exact same type of person over and over again and you're not learning the lesson of, ooh, I need to stop going after the bad boy type, or I need to stop going after apparently this personality type of women. It doesn't mesh well with me. Yeah, these people might be hot. They might be attractive in the moment, but my needs are never getting met. I don't get the call back. I don't get the text back. I get breadcrumbs when this happens, or I have to push my emotions and my desires aside to make these people happy. And I'm finding myself trying to convince them to stay when the truth is I'm a whole meal. Like, not just a snack, I'm a whole meal. Like, I'm not going to settle for breadcrumbs anymore. That can happen. For your career, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You show up, you clock in, you do exactly what you need to do, and you get out. That person's not getting the promotion. They're not going above and beyond. They're not making employee of the month or producer of the year, salesman of the year. If that's really what you care about and you want to perform like that, you got to hustle differently. Showing up and doing the bare minimum shows me, okay, I can pay for this employee to do what I need them to do, but when you're really bringing your A game and you're moving the mission forward for this business, the managers and owners can see that. They can reflect on that and acknowledge it, hopefully. And then you do get the promotion because you've shown that you have the skills and the leadership quality and organizational dedication that they want for somebody that can be promoted internally, if that's what you're going for. Or let's say you're in an industry, but you're feeling burnout and you're not enthused or you have no fire or desire for whatever it is that you've been wanting to work on lately. And you're like, well, I'll just wait until an opportunity comes across my desk and maybe I'll get that fire back. Nope. You want that fire back? You either have to seek out new clients in the industry that you're interested in breaking into because you think it would be fun, or you've got to start looking for jobs that are in that industry that you're interested in, and hopefully just start interviewing or reaching out to people that already work in that industry and say, hey, can I pick your brain? I'm looking to move into this. These are the skills that I have. This is what I think is transferable. What's the best way to put my foot forward and try to get through or break through and become a part of something like this? I'd really like to start from the ground up and get my foot in the door. Most people, from what experience I've had, if you reach out to them on LinkedIn or if you know them through mutual friends, something like that, are decent people, and they'd be more than willing to chat with you and give you, a free rundown of what their experience was like and what they do and what worked for them and what didn't work for them and things that they would be looking for if they were hiring, etc. And you just never know. So if you're trying to switch careers or you're thinking about going on your own to get that fire back, sitting at your own desk or teleworking at your own home or teleworking at your own spot isn't going to do it. It's not enough. If you want more, you either go to your current position and you ask for it and you come up with a list of like, these are the reasons why I think I should do this or why I would like to start this type of project and see where it could go. And if they say no, then you thank them for their time and you find a different way to make it happen for you on your own time. But it's kind of tiring and exhausting to have the same conversation with people where they're claiming that they're trying to find something new or they want to try something new. And the truth is they're just doing the exact same things over and over again. And I can understand why they might start to feel like the hamster in the wheel where they keep running in place but going nowhere. Once you kind of wake up to that motion and you're realizing that that's what you're doing, it's upsetting. It can be sad, it can be terrifying, and it can be really wild to close your eyes one day and wake up the next and go, holy shit, where did the last 10 years of my life go? What have I been doing? Is this really what makes me happy? And if the answer is no, then I want to remind you that, as Jess Sims likes to say, you are never too old to start over, but you are too old to be doing the same shit over and over again. And you deserve better than that. You do. I do, you do, your family does, your friends do, your loved ones, your partners, your romantic relationships. Nobody needs to be the hamster on the wheel, running constantly but getting nowhere. It's exhausting and upsetting. And it's true, right? Even if you start over, no big deal. Really, because you're finally opening yourself up and allowing yourself to chase a dream that you've always had. But it is a big deal if you're just doing the same stuff over and over again and expecting a different result. If I saw this post the other day from a content creator named Dr. Alex George. I think he's a psychologist or a psychiatrist in the UK, and he has an Instagram page, and on one of his posts said, if 1 + 1 always equals 2, then you have to change your input or your effort. And I think the point he was trying to get there was that if you're hoping that 1 + 1 equals 3, or 1 + 1 eventually equals 4, or 1 + 1 actually finally equals 10, it never will if your inputs are always 1 + 1. Because the truth is 1 + 1 is 2. And when you only ever input 1 + 1, you're only ever going to get 2. So in life, if you're hoping that your outcome is going to be a better job or a better relationship, a healthier marriage, a happier child, a content creator career instead of a corporate America career. You want to travel more often, but you don't have the finances saved appropriately in the right kind of funds or the right kind of investments. 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. So if I ever want to get to 10, I need 1 + 9. I need 2 + 8. I need 7 + 3. I need different inputs in order to get the output that I want. Does that make sense? So when you're so afraid of your future that you're seizing up and staying stagnant in the present, I think you're failing to grasp the magnitude of the moment. And the truth is about living in the present, today is the day where you can take a chance on yourself. You can't go back to yesterday. Yesterday you chose not to, and it's already gone, and you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So today is the day. Today is always the day to take a chance on yourself. Today is always the day to make a change. Today is always the day where you can better yourself. Today is always the day where you can try something new and figure out what works and what didn't work. Today is the day where you can narrow down your interests. I don't even know where to start because I love this so much and I love that so much and I love talking about this as well. Okay, great. Do one of each. Try it. Go down one of the paths. If trying to go after all three things at once is too overwhelming, try one first. See how that goes. If that doesn't pan out the way you thought, a month or two in, you're like, oh, okay, all right, no, I thought I liked this, but it's actually not as encouraging or as fun as I thought it would be. Let me go try option number 2. Okay, go. That's good because you're actually seizing the present. I hate to be cliche, the carpe diem. Seize the day. I'm not telling you to go and get a carpe diem tattoo or nothing like that, but it's overused to a certain extent. I feel like that was a very mid 2000s thing to get done on, like, if you weren't getting the heart or the butterfly tattoo or the Playboy bunny sticker on your on your hip bone at the tanning salon. You were getting the carpe diem on your wrist as your first tattoo because you were such a rebel. Ooh, such a rebel. But the older you get, the more you realize the friggin' message is true. Seize the day. Because I was taking a Peloton ride the other day and this really hit me. It's kind of why I wanted to talk about our failure to seize the present and being so focused on, oh, I can't get that done, I'll just do it tomorrow. And the truth is, I'm expecting tomorrow to happen because it has happened for the last 20,000 days of my life or however long I've been alive for. But I was taking a Peloton ride and with Robin Arzon, and she said, today you woke up with the ability to do something about it. That is not guaranteed tomorrow. And of course, she was talking about the ability to do something about your health, the ability to do something about improving your life physically. So she wanted you to seize the moment for your health, seize the moment for your physical longevity. But I think that statement reflects into all aspects of your life. Today, you woke up with the ability to do something about it. That is not guaranteed tomorrow. And tomorrow can sometimes be a dangerous word, like I mentioned earlier in this podcast, that tomorrow's a slippery slope. Sure, the likelihood of me waking up tomorrow, pretty high, I would assume. I've woken up all the other days so far, so like, bitch ain't dead yet. But technically, I'm not guaranteed that that's going to happen. I can't just assume that it will. So today, I need to do everything in my power to move myself forward. Today, I need to do everything in my power to put my dream into a priority. Now, it may not look like I'm doing much because I'm just filming, I'm just recording right now, but in my mind, compared to last year's Amanda or 2 years ago Amanda, I was so much further behind then. 2 years ago, Amanda would have never dreamed that this is what current Amanda would be doing. She'd be very surprised that we made it to a full year. I think she'd be proud of me, but she would go, oh, wow, you really did it. You really put all of our fear and our shame and our lack of knowledge out there on the internet. Cool. You're just openly admitting to people when you're messing up all the time? Nice. Why would you do that? What? Why would you tell people these things? And I feel better about it because I finally gave myself permission to be a goofy creative failure. I finally gave myself permission to go, you know what, you have something to say. Whether or not it's going to resonate with people every single time, it probably won't, but it gives you power because you're speaking your truth to power. You're letting your mind and your heart and your emotions and your creativity flow together, and they haven't flowed. They haven't worked congruently in a very long time. Probably not since I was a child, to be honest. My mom actually was talking to me the other day about the podcast and just that she was proud of me and happy that I was trying something new for myself. And I can't remember the context for when we brought it up, but she basically said that when she was listening to the show with my father, they were talking with each other about it, and she was saying that she's pretty sure when I left my primary school and went to a different public middle school. I was in a private primary school originally, but then went to a public magnet program. My mom thinks that that's probably when the creativity started to crumble, or at least get restricted further and further inward, because the magnet programs in Nashville, again, I haven't been there in a very long time, so I don't know if this is how they operate still, but they were a bit more rigid. They were to prepare you to be pre-college almost, like pre-college successful. Like by the time I got to my high school, the vast majority of the classes were either, all AP, IB type classes. And so you had to be highly organized, highly studious, analytical, problem solver style. They did have extracurricular activities. Like, they did have a theater class, they did have a musical theater group, they did have choir, they did have, I'm trying to remember if we had, I know we had art in middle school, but I don't really remember if we had much for art in high school. I don't think so. If we did, I didn't take those classes. So the creative side of myself was slowly crushed and turned into this academic and analytical being. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was a great student. I did very well, and I did well in college. So obviously the path that I took definitely prepared me for life. But I just thought it was interesting that she had a moment in time where she, if looking back on it, like, she could see the change in her child. Like, she could see the dancing, singing, silly child that she had changed, or at least that part of her child had to take a back seat. And years later now, I'm in Nashville and I'm starting the show. And during one of my mom's trips to Nashville, she brought me some old boxes of my childhood memorabilia. And it was all 4 huge, like, full to the brim boxes of old yearbooks, all my childhood drawings, my childhood journals, my art creations from school, or at least younger schooling and stuff like that. And but old toys, all of my childhood ornaments and random things. And there's a box with some journals in it, and in the journals are like daily entries and stuff like that. And I'm coming up with stories. I'm coming up with random, very, very imaginative things, like the purple dragon and his pink chicken are best friends, and they go to the store and they buy 3 potatoes, and just like random things that they're not deep by any means. But I was constantly, and I don't remember these things, right? I don't remember that child. So it's freaky. It's like looking into somebody's private thoughts, and it's so odd because it's you know? And anyway, I'm gone off on a giant tangent here, and I'm sorry. I need to get back onto topic. But the point of that was to say that when I went back and looked at these boxes and I went through all this memorabilia of what younger Amanda used to be like, it was very clear that younger Amanda was extremely creative and very interested in being a writer and writing stories. Like, there were different levels of the writing where I had chronicles of like romance novels and high school tween drama, and the fantastical animals being best friends, and stories about me and my childhood friend Claire going off on adventures together. And when we used to play dress up with my brother, like playing cops and robbers, and we played MASH, I guess, a lot too. There's journals of my doctor's notes, being the doctor in the middle of the war, and Jackson got his leg blown off, and like I'm writing about his surgery that day, like, and my friend Catherine and I, we'd throw him in the back of the van and like turn that into like a traveling mobile emergency unit, and just zip Jackson's leg back together and put him back out there. Keep fighting, son. Like, oh man, goofy stuff, really goofy stuff. But it's journal after journal after journal of me with all of these ideas and stories and tales I'm coming up with on my own, right? And it was very clear that my mom wasn't wrong. I had this in me for so long, and I buried it and buried it and buried it because I started to follow the thing I was told to become. I believed that I could be the thing I was told to become because I performed so well at it. The analytical Amanda, the logical Amanda, the stoic, straightforward, obedient Amanda could do that and do it well. And it's not untrue, but I think I'm tired of denying the creative Amanda her chance. I'm tired of denying her abilities as well. And I'm tired of setting her dream aside because I'm so afraid of her failing. I'm so afraid of her making a mistake that'll blow up her life. I'm so afraid of her chasing a dream that will end up wasting her time. And I think the truth is, I'm wasting her time when I hold her back. I'm wasting her time when I don't let her try. I'm wasting her time when I tell her she's not good enough, that her ability to tell a story, it's not actually going to resonate with anyone. But how will I ever know if I don't give it a chance? How will I ever know if my community exists if I don't try and find them, if I don't bring them on my journey, if I don't let them into my world, if I don't show them the authentic and raw side of who I am as a person? How will I ever find the person I'm meant to be with if I don't know who I am? If I don't let every part of me exist? The goofy, the funny, the serious, the analytical, the creative, the organized, the spontaneous, the compassionate, the stoic coexist, right? So I want to end this episode with a story from Eddie Pinero. He posted a Instagram reel a while back. I'll see if I can find it. If I can, I will add it to the show notes for you. And you can go back and listen to the reel. But it's essentially a reel where he's running on the side of a cliff somewhere. And he's reciting this speech, but it's about how tomorrow is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary. And he explains why. And I think that really resonates with how I've been feeling lately and the message that I want to give you, that you really only are guaranteed today, and you can only live in today. Yesterday's over and tomorrow's not guaranteed. So today is always a good day to invest in yourself. Today is always a good day in the right time to take one step forward towards the person you want to become, even if it's really small steps, even if you're still saving money before you jump ship, even if you're taking training classes before you open your own business or before you start selling your skills or your digital products, whatever it is. You're taking a step forward and you're investing in your dream today, which I think is the best thing you can do. So here we go. Eddie says, tomorrow is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary because while it's a symbol for hope, it can just as easily be the reason that your dreams remain little images in your head. There will never be a moment in your life more precious than the one you're living in. Your heart beating in your chest, the air in your lungs, the blood in your veins. They are giving you an opportunity to make a change, to become who you want to become, to live, to inspire, to achieve. Because who really knows how many tomorrows you will get. And the last thing you want is to look back on your life thousands of days from now and wish you had the courage to do what you wanted to do. To wish that you understood how fast tomorrows come and go, and that all you will ever have is the present moment. I loved this reel. I watched it over and over and over again, so I'm sure if he's got like 10,000 views, 9,000 of them are mine. I really liked this message that tomorrow is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary. And now, granted, obviously he's being a little dramatic there. Like, there's always hateful words. There's always bad words. Like, yeah, I know. We're not getting technical here on his accuracy of ranking of severe words in the English language. But when it comes to bending and changing and modifying your mindset, tomorrow, in and of itself, tomorrow is a slippery slope. Now, can you reprioritize things that you need to get done? Like today I can focus on this. Tomorrow I should do this instead. Yeah, absolutely you can. Don't fall prey to overwhelming yourself. You don't need to get every single thing done absolutely today. But the problem is when you use the word tomorrow so often that you never actually get anything on that list completed ever. That's when tomorrow becomes a problem. Tomorrow is a problem when you use it as an excuse. Tomorrow I'll do this. Tomorrow I will give a crap about myself. I will care about my self-worth. Tomorrow I'll be a better person. Tomorrow I'll be braver. Tomorrow I'll be less afraid of the unknown. Are you sure? What are you going to do today to help tomorrow actually come true? Serious. Tell me, what are you doing today? Yeah, growl. That's right, Dirks. What are you doing today so that tomorrow you is better prepared to tackle this goal or tackle this problem? What are you going to do? Because today is all you have. Today is exactly the right time to invest in yourself. Today is exactly the moment you should seize. Today is when you carpe diem that bitch. Today is what you've got. Tomorrow's going to be a gift if you get it. Otherwise, you're betting on borrowed time. If you don't know how long you're allowed to live on this earth, you don't know how long you've got an opportunity to make as big of a difference that you want to make, you're betting on borrowed time every single time you push your problems or your changes or your advancement or your growth to tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes the most dangerous word in your vocabulary when you use it as an excuse. I would hate to see that happen for you. I don't want it to happen for me. And I definitely don't want it to happen for you. That's all I've got for you folks. This has been another episode of What Now, a podcast for Lost and Found with your host, Amanda Powers. I am so glad that you're here. I'm so glad. I've been getting a lot of feedback on the last few episodes from our birthday anniversary on episode 50 and episode 51. I was really nervous about putting out there, sharing my experience with religion and sleep paralysis and my fear of mediocrity and living in cycles of self-doubt, and it actually surprisingly resonated with more people than I thought it would. So I'm so grateful for anybody that reached out to me. Thank you. I really do appreciate your feedback. And same goes for this episode. If you think you know anyone that would like this show or needs help trying to figure out what direction they want to go in their life, or they're feeling stuck and they don't know how to change their mindset or rethink through some of the problems and reposition themselves into a more empowered position, send it to them, let them know, hey, there's this other girl on the internet who's crying into a microphone every week, and I promise it's interesting. You can hear her, but she's sharing a lot of the same emotions that you are. So please send it out there. Let them know what's up. Your girl Amanda here is also struggling, but I would love to bring people along with me. I would love to help other people out because I don't have a mentor that's talking me through any of this. I'm talking into the abyss. So if you think that this could help somebody else, please subscribe, share, leave a review. It would really mean the world to me. Please pass it on to others. Paying it forward is so incredibly helpful and gets the message out there to others. And I just really appreciate that so much. And it means the world to me when all of y'all do that. So subscribe, leave a review, you know the drill. All of my contact info will be in the show notes, and any references that I can add or share will also be in the show notes with you. So if you have any questions, go there. My email is there, askwhatnowpodcast@gmail.com. My Instagram and TikTok is in there, so DM me anytime. I do my best to get back to all of the messages that I get, but if I don't get back to you in a decent amount of time, please don't be offended. That is not anything on you. I just have a lot to cover, but please know I see everything and I appreciate it so, so, so much. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Remember, wanderers are always welcome.